Why is a tiny lantern glowing beside one name on our family calendar? XTERMIGATOR found it, and now it is pointing somewhere. Wait, it just flickered again. Did you see that? The light is moving from the date to a little picture, then to a note that says, "Help someone today." Oh, this is going to be a very interesting adventure.
Γεια σας φίλοι μου, γεια σας my friends. Welcome to XTERMIGATOR Hellenic Kids, where faith, friendship, kindness, and adventure come together. I'm Sophia, and today XTERMIGATOR and our friends are setting out on another exciting adventure to discover something wonderful about our Orthodox Christian faith. Whether we're meeting a saint, exploring a Bible story, learning about one of our beautiful traditions, or discovering how we can show God's love to others, there is always something new to learn. And always remember, you are wonderfully created by God. You belong. And a disability is not an inability. It can be your greatest superpower. Ethemy, are you ready? Let's begin our adventure.
Back to the calendar. In our make-believe adventure, XTERMIGATOR gives the lantern a careful tap. "Glow again," I whisper. It does. The little light lands beside a name and a special date. That makes me think of a tradition called a name day.
In many Orthodox families, a name day is connected with the feast day of a saint whose name is shared by someone in the family. The family remembers the saint and celebrates that loved one with gratitude and affection. It may include a visit to church, prayer, a meal, a call, a small gift, or a simple gathering. Customs and dates can differ, so each family may have its own way of celebrating. A name day is not a second birthday, and it is not a contest. It is a doorway into remembering a holy example and showing love.
The lantern gives us another clue. Beside the date is a respectful image of a saint. In the life of the church, icons help people remember Christ, the Theotokos, and the saints. They are treated with care. They are not toys or magical decorations. XTERMIGATOR looks at the picture, then looks at me as if to say, "What did this person do?" Good question. That is exactly where our adventure leads. The lantern points to Fotini, also known as Saint Fotini the Samaritan woman. In the Gospel of John, she meets Jesus at a well. Jesus speaks with her, and after their meeting, she shares the good news with others. We do not need to add dramatic details to learn from her. Her example already gives us plenty to think about. Courage to listen, courage to grow, and courage to share what is good with love. XTERMIGATOR seems excited. He points to the kindness note and then to the saint's name, but suddenly his shoulders droop. In our story, I imagine him asking, "What if my name is not Fotini?" Maybe you have wondered something similar. What if your name is not connected with the saint we are learning about? What if you do not know your patron saint yet? What if your family does not celebrate name days in the same way? Then the lantern grows dim, not because XTERMIGATOR is left out, but because we have forgotten something important. A name can point us toward a saint. It never decides who belongs. Every child is wonderfully created by God. Every child has gifts, every child has purpose, and every child belongs. Belonging should never depend on doing things one particular way. We can make room for different ways of moving, speaking, learning, praying, and helping. A disability is not an inability. Your support needs do not make you less welcome, and you never have to perform something extraordinary to deserve a place. The lantern brightens. XTERMIGATOR gives a little wiggle, as if he has just solved the biggest clue. We can learn from Saint Fotini, even if we do not share her name. We can learn from any saint's example of courage, compassion, patience, honesty, prayer, or service. And we do not have to be perfect before we begin. Saints were people who grew in faith and kept turning toward God. A small, loving choice can be a real beginning. So what is the lantern asking us to do?
not to become famous, not to collect the biggest cake or the fanciest gift. It is asking, what loving thing can we do next? Here are 3 possibilities. You might say a short prayer with a caregiver. Lord, help me grow in love and kindness, and help me notice someone who needs encouragement. Or you might encourage someone by saying thank you, welcoming a classmate, appreciating a sibling, or sending a kind message with a grown-up's help. Or you might choose quiet service. Put away a shared game. Help prepare a meal. Make room at the table. Care for a common space. Perhaps even tackle the mysterious pile of toys that nobody remembers creating. The point is not to get applause. The point is to offer a real gift with love. Choose an action that fits your age, your energy, your communication style, and the support you have available.
Kindness should also be safe. You never need to go somewhere alone, contact a stranger, or keep an uncomfortable secret to help someone. Ask a trusted grown-up when you need support. A saintly example is not about taking unsafe risks. It is about loving wisely and making room for others.
The lantern now shines across the whole calendar instead of just one name. That helps us remember that families celebrate in many ways. One family may go to church and light a candle. Another may share a meal or call a loved one. Someone else may celebrate quietly with prayer. Your family's practice may be different from another family's, and that is okay. If you have questions, ask the grown-up who knows your family's tradition, such as a parent, caregiver, Sunday school teacher, Greek school teacher, or parish priest. I'm your podcast host, not your parish priest, so I can help us wonder and learn, while trusted adults and parish leaders guide your family's practice.
XTERMIGATOR follows the lantern to the final clue, the note that says, help someone today. He wants to choose the biggest possible kindness challenge. I stop him gently. Sometimes the brightest kindness is small. Listening carefully, making space, saying, I'm glad you're here, offering help without waiting for attention. The lantern was never asking, who has the right name? It was asking, what loving thing can we do next?
Let's make a memory together. When I say, remember the light, you can answer, live the love. Ready? Remember the light. Live the love. A name day helps many Orthodox families remember a saint and celebrate a loved one with gratitude. A saintly example helps us practice a virtue. And every child belongs, whether or not they share a saint's name, whether or not they know a patron saint yet, and whether their family celebrates with a gathering or a quiet prayer. Remember the light. Live the love. That is your challenge for this week. With a caregiver's help, choose one saintly example. Say a short prayer, encourage someone, learn one fact about a saint, or complete a quiet act of service at home, school, or church. Families may share a general kindness idea on social media if they wish, but please protect children's privacy. Do not post a child's name, location, school, schedule, or identifiable photo. A message such as, our family chose to encourage someone today, is plenty. Kindness does not need to be displayed to be real.
Before we go, let's offer a simple prayer. You can listen quietly, join in, or pray in your own way. Dear God, thank you for creating every child with gifts and purpose. Thank you for the saints who show us courage, compassion, faith, and love. Help our families celebrate with gratitude. Help us include one another, and help us notice one small way to serve today. Amen.
What an adventure, friends! I'm Sophia, and I'm so glad you joined XTERMIGATOR and all of us today. As you go into your week, remember what we discovered. Faith isn't only something we learn about. It's something we live through kindness, courage, prayer, friendship, forgiveness, and love. Never forget that God created each of us with different gifts, and there is a place for every child in His church. Until our next adventure, keep asking questions, keep helping others, keep growing in faith, and keep being wonderfully you. From all of us at Exterminator Hellenic Kids, O Theos Mazisas, may God be with you. Thaleme Sintoma. See you soon.
The journey doesn't stop when the sun starts to set. There's a kindness to carry, a promise to get. God love you, now go tell the world, with every banner of peace unfurled.